chain. One more. Yeah. That's the sound of the men working on the chain. Gang, keep it strong. Ooh, ah, yeah. Ooh, ah. Oh, don't you know? That's the sound of the men working on the chain. One more. Gang, don't you know? That's the sound of the men working on the chain. Gang. Can you even say? Ooh, ah, feel good. Ooh, ah, feel good. You know.
I'm Chad Grant, and this is Coach Shannon Schneider, and we're here for 5 Star West, Episode 4, The Truth. And we have special guest, Coach David Kelton. And before we bring Coach Kelton on, we'd just like to thank our sponsors that make this podcast possible. We have Carvella's Pizza, PT Alford Law Offices, Tech Tires, MG Apparel, DeLong Sales Group, Chris Parkinson's Multiple Businesses, Tommy Wood Backflow, and then Derek Chapman Media TV, where we shoot everything. Right now, entering the winter season, we're doing a lot of 4-on-1 group hitting that me and Coach Shannon does every Saturday and Sunday. So if you're a part of the 5 Star program, this is something that we really think benefits the boys as far as breaking down technique, video analysts, and things like that. We also have a Christmas camp coming up on December 23rd from 9 to 3, all-day event. We would love to have any 12 and under kids come and hang out with us and learn a little baseball over Christmas break. And so I'll turn it over to Coach Shannon, and he'll introduce what we have going on today.
Well, I'm going to pretend I'm Zach for a minute because Zach got hurt last night because he can't catch very well. And so talk a little bit about Columbus. I know he's got the infield camp starting every weekend in December, and if you guys are interested in it, get with Coach Zach down in Columbus, give him a call. I don't know if he's full or not, but I know it's getting close. But going forward with today's show, I want to bring in a guy that's from our area. That's and he's going to be blushed about this. Probably a legend around here. 3-sport athlete from Troop High School. Was a second-round pick out of high school with the Chicago Cubs, and when he got done playing, he actually played in the big leagues a couple of years, and now he is the head coach at LaGrange College. And during his time at LaGrange College, he's went 292 and 152, and he's entering his 12th season, and he's produced 5 All-Americans and 40 All-Conference selections during his tenure there. And what they do at LaGrange College is very, very unique. They're able to compete on a national level, and people don't understand they have a gym right here in our backyard, an unknown commodity that playing for an ex-big leaguer and the kind of person that Coach Kelton is. If I was fortunate to have a son, that's where I would want him to play, and that's probably one of the highest compliments I could pay anyone. I don't pay that to even some of our guests here that we have on our show, but our relationship goes way back. We've had several players play at LaGrange College, graduate, and now are really good husbands, uncles, dads, and it all goes back to their, having a really good college relationship and a good college, environment. It's a Christian school, and a couple of those players have been Mason Green, Trey Owen, Colton Esposito, Ashton Shackelford, Nick Morgan, Logan Willis, Trent Shepard, Dawson Weaver, Chad Pigg, Tanner Cochran, Tyler Harris, Tavin Thompson, Logan Hood, and Josh Bricker. And Brandon Bennett, that plays for us now, he's in the 25 class at LaGrange High School. He has just committed, and education-wise and things like that is going to be a great fit for him. And we look forward to, I'm a little selfish, I like going in my backyard and sneaking in the stadium and watching my former players play. So, right now we're going to, say hey to Coach Kelton and tell him a little bit, let him tell us a little bit about the program and kind of get this show kicked off. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Man, I'm doing fine. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Well, good. We're glad to have you. And we're going to just kind of kick off some questions with Coach this morning, kind of let him kind of tell us, some different aspects about his life, about playing in this area, and then coming back home after playing in the big leagues, the changes that he's seen and, kind of get some things going. But Coach, if you would right now, just kind of tell us what's going on at LaGrange College, what you guys have going on this winter.
Well, I mean, we just got out of fall practice. So, I mean, the grind of building another team. We got a lot of guys left over from last year's group that, finished strong. So, then blending in this new recruiting class and, really trying to take a step forward, like you said, trying to get back on that, that national stage. So, got a little more of a veteran group, which always makes, competing at that championship level just a little easier, more so just trying to get everybody going in the right direction, trying to get geared toward, when they get back, in January. But at the moment, a little bit of the downtime, and the guys are about to go into finals. Then they'll go home for the Christmas break. But, when they get back, really that first, couple weeks of January, it's go time. Basically, same here as it is, everywhere else across the country. When everybody returns back in January, you hit it at a mock pace. So, we're hoping that pretty much everything we did in the fall, guys retain, but then we can just add to it when they get back in January for pretty much the gauntlet of the season.
Right. Well, we have a few questions for you today, and we want to kick off with Coach Chad right here. He's got a few. I've got a few myself, and we want to educate as many players and parents as we can at all aspects. We've had some Division I coaches on here. We've got arguably the best D3 coach in the country right here in our backyard, which is you. We're going to bring on Coach Jeff Johnson at Chipola. So we're trying to educate on many different levels throughout this podcast. So, Coach, go ahead and take it away on some questions that we have for Coach.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you being here with us today, Coach Kelton. Was excited to have you today. I played with your little brother, John. He was one of our upperclassmen when I was a sophomore. He was a senior. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to coach your son, Grady. He's a sixth grader, 12-year-old kid. Might not even be 12 yet, probably 11. Is Grady 12 yet?
No, he'll February 7th.
Okay, yep. So he's 11-year-old, sixth grader at Gardner Newman, really athletic, good ball player. So the first question I got for you, Coach, is in the age of everyone wanting to go D1, will you explain the benefits and advantages of playing at a D3 powerhouse like you guys at LaGrange College?
Well, first and foremost, I think one of the biggest things we pride ourselves on here is relationships. You're going to have a relationship, with the coaching staff, and we try to create, that family culture, within our program, and I think we've been very successful at, being able to do that, through the years. But just here at LaGrange in general, just throughout the community here at the college, you kind of get that homey feel, where kind of everybody knows everybody, but then everybody looks out for everybody. So just, that alone, you just get more of that, that smaller feel, here at LaGrange, but most importantly, you get those connections with people, especially, here at the coaching staff. Because everybody's driven, especially in this day and age, Division I, there's good baseball at every single level. And especially here at the Division III level, there's really good baseball, depending on, especially with our schedule, how, we try to play a lot of top 25 teams. And so it's comparable to a lot of different levels, within college baseball. So, you come to one of our games, you're liable to see a guy that, was offered by, some Division IIs or, junior college, maybe NAIAs. You get a little bit of everything, here. So, the talent level, here at LaGrange, but then also across the Division III landscape is a lot better than what people think.
Right. Well, parents and players, coaches, they don't know what they don't know. And that's why we're doing this podcast.
Absolutely.
And, 87, 88, it's 87, 88, whether you're throwing in the backyard or if you're doing it at the University of Georgia. Guy runs a 6'6". It doesn't matter where he's running it, he's still running it. And baseball is baseball. He's still hitting a round ball with a round bat. But the biggest thing that you guys promote, which I'm very happy because 99.9% of our players aren't going to be getting paid and supporting their family by getting paid to play the game like you did. They're going to be having to go out in the world and get a good job. So the education to me is very important in putting those guys, and my job and coach's job is to kind of set the academics with the athletics so that they can take care of their family when they're 30. That's what I look for. I look for hey, first thing I ask them, hey, what do you want to do? Then I try to find the school that, kind of has that degree or that option. And, what I hear all the time as well is, Coach, well, they don't give scholarships. They don't do this. Well, kind of tell us on the recruiting end of it about the scholarship and how you guys can take care of your players financially, because they don't, like I said, they don't know what they don't know. And today we can kind of maybe educate them and say, hey, this LaGrange College D3 program, it might not be called something, but it actually can help pay for some school as well. So that's one of my biggest questions, is explain to our audience, so to speak, is how does D3 help offer athletic scholarships without being scholarships?
Well, the biggest misconception, I hear it all the time, the biggest misconception about Division III is we don't give, scholarship. Granted, we don't give athletic scholarships, but we give loads of scholarship money. We're going to bring in a kid that is going to have a 3.0 GPA or higher, because here in Georgia you get the Hope Scholarship.
Right.
And we want to go after guys that pride themselves in their education, which is going to make it a little easier on us on the front end once we get them, because now we're with them for 4 years. But these are going to be guys that are going to usually be 3.0 or higher. So they're going to get the Hope Scholarship, here in Georgia. But they're going to qualify for one of our 5 academic scholarships, here at LaGrange College. And those are going to range anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, depending on what your grades are and then what academic scholarship you're going to get. And then the FAFSA, comes into play, kind of what kind of need-based financial aid, you need. The FAFSA just dropped, December 1st, so people are going to have to do the FAFSA form to, see what other kind of, money they're going to get, government money. But, the biggest thing, money's money.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's athletic money. It doesn't matter if it's academic money. I sit down with parents all the time and, I always tell them, I'm like, look, y'all's biggest concern is what that final dollar amount is going to be, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to give them a lot of academic money on the front end, and whatever comes off the FAFSA, you got Hope, scholarship. LaGrange College gives a lot of grant money as well. So when you stack all these things up, it might cost somebody pretty much the same to go here at LaGrange as it does to go to an in-state school.
Sure.
That is giving them athletic money. And we might come down at the end of the day to costing just about the same. Our overall price might be a little bit more, but at the end of the day, you can kick that out. Because all we're going to do is stack academic money and stack a lot of other things on top of itself to drum that cost down as low as we possibly can to make it affordable.
Right.
And so that's why it's really important for us to, be able to get these guys that we see out on the road in recruiting, get them on campus, because this is a hidden gem. LaGrange College is a hidden gem here, so that people can see what we have to offer here. I can get in front of them and explain to them that they will get scholarship money. It's just going to be different. It's going to be on the academic side instead of the athletic side. But at the end of the day, we give a lot of scholarship money. It's just going to be divvied out differently than what maybe a state school would.
Well, good. That clarifies a lot of things, because the biggest thing is getting those guys to come in and sit down with you and have that conversation, because a lot of them are, a little bit different. It's hard to get them in there and have that conversation. And so we really hadn't ever had any bad feedback once they get in there and talk with you about that situation. It's always been, hey, I didn't know that. So maybe going forward, this right here will educate some guys. But what else you got there, Coach?
Okay.
We have a bunch of guys in our locker room that had, junior college, NAIA Division II offers, and at the end of the day, they're going to get some type of, athletic scholarship, but then we're going to go to work on our academic scholarships and, try to beat, those scholarship offers or make it very comparable. And then we just hope at the end of the day, they see the overall experience that they're going to get here, the culture that we've created. But then on top of that, and being able to compete for championships year in and year out, resonates with them.
Sure.
Yes, sir. So we'll go to the next question, Coach. I know I just had a meeting with a parent yesterday, and they're asking about exposure. What are the tools to get recruited, and things like that. So I just want to ask you, how do you guys recruit? Do y'all go to tournaments? Do you recruit from your prospect camps? You go to high school games, things like that? Because parents start to panic, when the kids junior, senior year, and they don't really know what steps they need to take, being a first-time parent with a kid that may be a prospect. So just elaborate on how you guys kind of go through that process.
Yeah, when I first got into it, we did more going to high school games than what we do now. If you wait around for the spring season just to go to high school games, it's too late. So I mean, we hit the road in the summer. I mean, as soon as our season's over with, here in May and June, we hit the road and go to a lot of the perfect game tournaments, PBR tournaments, different different travel ball showcases. Definitely in the state. We go down into the Panhandle a little bit and over into Alabama, but we're hitting the same tournaments that the majority of all the other schools. With that being said, we also put a big emphasis on our prospect camps. Because again, I want these recruits to get on our campus and see what we have to offer. Right. Get around us coaches. Again, we want to build relationships with these guys. So the more that we can be around them, the more that we can bring them here to LaGrange, get them, on our field, even get some of our players around them, the more connected they're going to feel to our program. So yes, we go out all summer long, hit the road, go to these recruiting events, but we have prospect camps here at LaGrange throughout the entire year. We got another one coming up, January 18th. That's really our last one for 2025s before we hit go into our spring season. But it's just an opportunity for guys to get on our campus and for us to see them. And when we do these prospect camps, we get an opportunity to work them out how we need to work them out. I get to see whatever I want to see. If I need to slow something down, if I need to see something again, I can do it. And we control the pace of these prospect camps so that when we're done with the camp, we have a true evaluation and we've seen everything we need to see, whether somebody's going to be a fit for our program or not.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you want somebody to be comfortable in coming on campus and getting to know the coaching staff. And I've been to a couple of you guys, how you guys run your camps, and it's pretty special because, I've seen you guys take time, put your arm around a kid and say, hey, this is what we see, this is what, I think we need to work on, this is where you're good, because, I'm a big believer too, players need to understand what they're good at as well,
Yes.
But, here's getting back to some personal things. By the way, I did coach John, your little brother, was a really good hitter, left-handed, played at Alabama. John won some games for me as well. So,
Yes.
But, I did put him in the outfield. He didn't want to go, but he ended up playing outfield in Alabama. But that's another story for another day. Being from where me and Coach are from in the Troup County area, coming up in the rec department, and then making it all the way to the big leagues and seeing how the game has changed analytically from all the way from the importance of travel ball, rec ball, the difference that you see now being a college coach and compare it how it was when you was a player coming up, the importance of playing, the importance of, knowing when to take a break, knowing nutrition, and what's really some of the things that have changed throughout the last, you're getting old, Coach, the last 20 or 25 years, that you see that could really, inform some of these guys that helped you get to the big leagues when you were here, and some of the things that have changed that you didn't have the knowledge to do that would probably, help you get there a little bit quicker or, in the same way in today's game.
Well, I think, now, these guys, they have everything at their fingertips. They can get on their phone and, get a ton of feedback on their swings for, so many people, on social media. They can look up so much stuff. We had the video, back when I was coming up, but now you have so much data. You have so much data, so much technology, that these guys can use to where they can even inform themselves and not have to come to you as much as maybe when I was coming through. We were always going to our hidden coaches for feedback. These guys now, they can go on social media. I mean, they can purchase some of this, technology themselves, and really dive into the details of the technology to kind of help build their swing or mechanically on the pitching side, at a lot younger age than what we had access to. The weight room now is a game changer. When I was coming through, and you were coming through, I mean, the weight room was important, but it wasn't nearly as important as it is now. Everybody is so much more physical than 10, 15, 20 years ago. And, these guys being able to, get into the weight room, at a younger age, having, so much access to technology. I think that's, just completely, changed, the game because, now they just have so much information to help in their own development that we didn't have when we were growing up.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. And some kids take advantage of it, some kids don't. But the ones that do, you can really see a big difference. Like even from our 12-year-old team to the college players. We have college guys
Absolutely.
that come back and hit with us, in Christmas and in the summer and do some things. And how much smarter they get would amaze you.
Yes.
Just the knowledge they've got on the analytics part. I'll never say I'm a launch angle guy and things like that. I'm a type guy. You got to figure out what kind of hitter you are, number one. But that's for another podcast. But going forward, growing up here in Troup County, I was always keeping up with you when I was in Savannah, your career and things like that. Didn't know who you were, but Rob English, my old boss with Atlanta. He said there's a Kelton kid over there that can play like Jason Williams in basketball, and said he could really jump and all this other. And so I started doing some research and I called around, talked to Coach Pitts, and he was like, "Man, you have no idea what kind of athlete this guy is." So being from the hometown, these young kids don't understand. Once you go and you make your mark, people like me, we're going to keep up with guys that have like yourself, that have gone on and done great things. And it's a pride thing. I say, hey, that guy's where I'm from. We played in the same rec ball. It wasn't travel ball back then. Obviously, when I come through the rec department, we got a T-shirt and some whitey tighties and went out there and played. And went to the Army store and got a number on our back. We thought that was pretty cool. Our name on our back. Excuse me. So. That was a highlight of the year. But going forward, season, like you said, is going to be here before you know it, and want to kind of close some things today with, your outlook, what you guys are thinking. Obviously, national championship with what your standard is at LaGrange College now. But kind of tell us, kind of some of your top players you're relying on, and what's your season outlook, in 2025, what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, well, I mean, we, again, finally have a veteran team again, after our World Series team in, 2022. I mean, it's the first time we've had just a huge class graduate, a lot of experience, the age that went with it. So many guys left the program, and, we did get a little younger, even though we still, had good results. But we lacked a little bit of that postseason experience, and it showed a little bit. So, these last couple of years, we kind of grinding to get these guys, to, grow up a little bit, but then also to, put it back together. So we, more of a junior, senior team, excited to see what this group can accomplish. The pitching staff looked really strong, this fall. I think this is going to be a team that's going to really be able to move the ball around, do a lot of the little things well, and also have some of that power to go with it. I've had some teams in the past that were just loads of power. This isn't that type of team, but this is going to be a team that I think we're going to be real dynamic, offensively. So I'm looking forward to see what we can accomplish. Because again, I mean, we are every single year in recruiting, in our development, we're trying to put our program in a position to compete for championships every year.
Right.
You win your conference championship, You get an automatic AQ into a regional. You can't get to a World Series without getting to a regional. Right. So the goal every single year is to, win that conference championship. So you automatically get in that regional. Once you get in the regional, now you just got to put it together. I've had some teams that, in the past that were very, very much, talented enough to do what our 2022 team did that, made it to the World Series, but it just wasn't our time. And then finally, after being in the, 4 regionals, in a row, finally in 22, we knocked that door down and won the regional, won the super regional, and then finished 3rd in the World Series. So, I mean, that's the goal every year. It's trying to win that conference championship, get to a regional, and then go on a run to get back to the World Series, in hopes of, competing to win a national championship. We were so close, in 22. So, again, I mean, this here at LaGrange, I mean, this is like my Vandy. This is like my Auburn, my Alabama, my Tennessee. I mean, I don't know how to make it anything different. Right. With baseball is all I've done my whole life. And then being able to play 9 years professional. There's a certain drive and a certain discipline that you got to have day in and day out to be able to live that life. And I was able to live it. I don't know how to do this and not go at the pace at which I did when I played. And so there's that drive on the coaching side and that passion to make LaGrange College baseball as great as we can make it year in and year out. And those are the guys that, we're going to recruit. I mean, we'll scour all over the Southeast to find those guys that equally can match that passion, that love the game, that, they want to compete on a daily basis. They're just hard-nosed, baseball players that are just going to get after it. And I feel, this team this year, we got a group full of guys that they're mentally tough. We've been through a lot the last couple of years in terms of a little bit of having to deal with some adversity, but I think that's going to make them a whole lot better this year. So I mean, Trey Owens, talking about a local guy in Heard County. I mean, Trey's back for his final year and had a really good fall. Davis Miguelski, our catcher, he's back for his 5th year. I mean. Yeah, he's been a 5-year starter for me behind the dish. You know how hard it is to find a catcher that can, lock in for you. But he's been a 5-year starter for me. And Adam Dorn, our shortstop, or our second baseman. He's been a consistent guy. Jackson McKelvey, he's our shortstop, but arguably one of the best athletes I've ever had in this program. 6'4", 6'5" runner. 88, 90 across the infield, kid can play. And then our pitching staff, I mean, I think, this fall we had 8 guys that were over 90 miles an hour. Now I'm still this guy, I still got the old fashioned, no matter how hard you throw, you got to command it. Yeah. But we got, for us, I mean, we got 8 guys that are over 90. One guy that topped out at 96 for us, this fall. But we just got a bunch of guys that are, 87, 88, 92 that are going to command the strike zone and throw, 2 to 3 pitches for a strike at a moment's notice. So I think on the mound, we're going to be able to really compete and compete well. But then also, we have more velocity this year than maybe, what we have in some other years. So I'm excited to see, kind of how that plays out. So, all in all, I think this is going to be a group that once we put it together and, kind of find, our rhythm, I think we can accomplish a lot with this group this year, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready for the holidays to be over with, man. It's time to go.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to ask you the main question I ask all our big league guys I talk to, because next month we're doing a show with all the big leaguers that I've been fortunate to coach. So I'm going to ask each big leaguer a little bit, kind of the same question, maybe in a different way. But it's going to be a question that these young kids really, they're really striving for, and I want you to just kind of tell them. So we're going to take a break just real quick, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Hey, welcome back, guys. Every guy we coach, wants to do two things. They want to play college baseball, and they want to be in the big leagues. And so I want them to understand from a big leaguer, and this is my question to you. What was the first time how did it feel the first time you were told you were going to the big leagues? Second half of that question, what was it like the day you stepped on that big league field as a big leaguer?
When I was told, just the emotions of your whole life is what you wanted. All the hours in the off season that you spent hitting, all the hours you spent lifting, all the hours that you spent just trying to do extra, just trying to just go as hard as you possibly can. And then all the ups and downs of grinding through every level of the minor leagues and really having to deal with adversity on a level that, I couldn't comprehend when I was young, and having to figure out how to deal with constant adversity day in and day out, but having to overcome that. And then performing at such a high level where you can continue to move on and make it. I think just the reality of just all of that, knowing that is paid off. And all that hard work has now gotten you to a point where, the organization feels, you're worthy of, being called up to the big leagues. Everybody's, when they make it to the big leagues is different, but I think mine was unique in terms of, when I made it up, it was the first time that the Cubs and the Yankees had played in 85 years. It was a Sunday night ESPN game in Chicago, so it was a madhouse, a media madhouse in the locker room. There was a buzz around that stadium that was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. And, so, when I stepped foot in the box that day, I looked down and you got Jorge Posada looking up at me. You got Jason Giambi at first base. You got Soriano at second. You got Derek Jeter at short. You got A-Rod at third. And you're just sitting there, it's just the reality of
holy cow. Better not hit it on the ground.
It's like, holy cow! Where am I at? I've made it. I've made it. So it's the most nerves I've ever felt in my entire life. They could have thrown that ball, into the stands, and I'd probably swung at it. Because I was as amped up as you could imagine, but ready to go. It was it was a moment, it was an experience of a lifetime, and it was a moment that I won't ever forget. In the feeling, I still can feel that feeling of when I stepped in that box that very first time of what that felt like.
Well, I know everybody from where we're from was proud of you that day, and I know the job you're doing at LaGrange College and for your players, and we're very fortunate to have Grady in our program, and you trusting us with your son, and I know he's got a bright future with our program and later on after that, and that means a lot to us. And I just want to tell you, Coach, I appreciate everything today and your wisdom, and we're going to be out there to watch some of our former players play, and I know you guys are going to have some success this year, and we'll be there to be your biggest supporters. And there again, I appreciate everything. Coach appreciates everything. And,
yes, sir.
Hey, anything we can do, just give us a holler. Okay, you have a good day. I appreciate everything.
You as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.